this is where you may have heard Marcus talk a lot about this GLAD program, which is a similar program established in Australia.
German,
Germany, Australia.
Oh, yeah.
It's a European program.
It's a European
European
program.
Okay. So this is a sort of plagiarized version of that.
What the heck?
That was
That's
Mr.
what
Marcus
else to
is
do.
lying to me.
Okay. So with this intended project, obviously it is up to everyone. We talk about feasibility of this program is because this is something that we want to be able to establish and standardize between all the physios as a means to make sure that when you write in your notes, if there is a knee OA patient, you can fit this into the program and you can follow along or have them follow along, whether it be inside the session, we'll talk about that later on, or outside by themselves, in which they can follow along and you can key in as to where and how they are progressing each time. Okay? So when we talk about the muscle list here, you'll notice towards the end of it, it is an 8-week program. Alright? So our basis when we first started out was something similar to a project that was devised by ARC Fitness in relation to how they train some of their fighters and how they load, deload, and then get them essentially form ready for their competition. In this sense then, it's more towards being able to get more functional goals for this patient by the end of the week 8. There will be targeting, I think, 2 cycles, right, for this 8-week program in which they complete this set. There will be a follow-up set still in works about how they are going to progress further. It's probably going to include with the loads as such here, but that's later on. Alright? So, if we look into it first, right? Suppose. Sorry.
Okay, let's see. So, what does GLAD program summarizes? GLAD program is a socio-economic study that proves that one education session workshop, alongside with 12 sessions of guided rehabilitation, led to a improved knee function, better knee pain control. So that GLAD program will involve some pain advice, medication advice, diet advice, and don't fear a lot of pain educations as well. Okay, in that workshop. The exercise component, I always find it very dumb because while it is trying to introduce very simple movement like sit to stand, but it's not all encompassing. And at the end of the GLAD program, they are measuring based on the patient's perception of their knee following it. However, the drop-off rate is also very, very high. So it becomes something that I say it's not perfect yet. Then came ARC Fitness, whereby the strength and conditioning model, you have people at certain baseline, you put them through, they have increased baseline. Okay, so the program of our vision program will be increase the person's functional baseline as a primary. Secondary is to add in the GLAD visualization component of the pain education, of how to manage it and all that. So if we have sufficient participants in the program already, we will then ask Naeem to perform a workshop on a Sunday whereby they'll come in and we will share. And we run this every quarter type thing. Right? So then it will be our knee like empowering program. So that's the long-term picture of this particular thing. You will find that it is targeted at pure functional movements with a bit of add-ons for different conditions that we are worried about, and you can do them as you need. But in terms of how I want it to roll out by the physios, this is where I'm happy for you to one, see the patient, and this whole program is your session. Then you spend that 1 hour as your session. But majority of the time, don't forget that people like some passive therapy on top of it as well. So this program will be something that you do some passive therapy. It goes up to about half an hour to 45 minutes. And then you start introducing, so how I classically do things, right? I start introducing them how to sit to stand and give them some mobility drill, bird dogs and all those things, right? Okay, second session they come. Mine unfortunately is 1 month later, but second session for you guys should be, say, within the week they come in second session. Second session, you start to teach them a little bit of hinges, hip hinges and all those things. Then you start exploring. So you then passive therapy time is now 20 minutes. And then you start their warm up of sit to stand. Previously you teach them about some bird dogs. Now you start teaching them about some hinges. Right? Now second week started. Yes?
For squatting, you don't need hip hinge, right?
Not hip hinge, but there are other things you need hip hinge. Right? So then you then start looking into second week. You see them as a patient already. You say, look, we have a knee program. You already learned the movement of this and this. So I'm going to guide you through. You're taking full control, right? I'm going to guide you through this whole program. You go through this program that we set up. It involves some cycling, some step ups, and all that stuff. Then you say, I want you to try a supervised session with us, okay? And then this program will run on for 8 weeks from today. So your week 1 starts at second week of the patient coming in, right? So you slow introduce the patient to it, then you start this program. You see how long that program lasts. If this program is going to last 1.5 hours, you will charge the patient extra half an hour, right? For that extra parts of it. That's all. Okay, and you are in full control of the whole program. But the benefit of having a program like this is because the program is set, right? You pass on to the next colleague of yours, they can take over that program of that. Just loading, or this week you need to start loading here already. Let's be careful. All that stuff. Very, very simple. Okay? Or there's another way that you can start, whereby Rajesh patient comes in not much pain, right? And you want to start loading already. Then week 1 starts session 1. Week 1 starts session 1, and you say it's an 8-week program. We detected that there's an ankle problem, there's a hip weakness problem in our objective exercise, there's a knee stability problem. That's your program, it's all inside there. It's written. I mean, not all the exercises are inside there, but it covers most bases. Does it make sense? Okay? So then that's where it covers those patients that you don't know what to do and they don't have a program back to hiking. Now I'm giving you that even the patient going back to hiking with no pain, you need to tell them this is where we're loading. I use that because we had a flare out. So that we have a program to go up to a certain volume, and it's paced at 10%, right? 10% increment loading. Yeah, so once you key into the Excel, it should, by theory, formulate for you each week what this patient should be lifting, should be doing, and then at the end of week 8, they should achieve a certain, I think, what, 40%?
40% from week 3.
One, or 40% from week 3. Okay? Ken? Anything else you want to add?
So it's just the individual movement.
So now the individual movements are.
Okay, so that's where you will refer back to the table that I sent to you all. So you'll, first thing you'll notice is obviously the different colors denote different types of movements for squat. Yeah. For example, the functional strengthening will, yes, you have your squats. In this muscle list that we've given to you, for example, some things will remain consistent, and some things will have a better or clearer progression. And this is where, like Marcus mentioned, within week 1, if a patient is having, let's say, not so much pain, and you think that they can progress to a little bit of heavy weight, you can sort of use this as a guideline based on, for example, if week 1 is 0 weight and they're doing it quite well, you can proceed to somewhere where the weight or load is somewhere, let's say week 4 or week 5 in which there already denotes a set weight here. Okay? So before functional strengthening itself, this warm-up, when we talk about the warm-up, it's more targeted towards movement preparation for each of the functional strengthening that we want us to be able to do. So for example, sit to stand, the components of sit to stand, for example, they need to be able to achieve the bending as such there. So you have your quadruped rocking as such, so bums to heels as such there, as well as the ability to be able to have good ankle and hip mobility, so you have your hip step throughs as such there. The same can be done for each individual movements, right? It's free to be sort of, if you have any sort of counter argument about what movement you can or want to use as a movement prep. But in general, this is what we have devised for things like hip hinge. Hip hinge, like Marcus mentioned, is more towards the ability for the patient to perform some form of RDL, i.e. picking up something from the ground and such there. So then, when it comes to more loaded movements as such, for example, with anything to do with the cables as well, then we also want them to be able to achieve the single leg kneeling step throughs, or for stepping up, like we mentioned, going up the stairs, there has to be ability for them to be able to pull from hamstring, glutes. That's why we have the single leg bridge, right? Ideally, the rep ranges for here would only take about 15 reps and about 1 set each. This is just a warm up, right? We don't want to
We
take
do the
more time.
warm up now. Bring the bed down. Patient on the bed.
Kind of hard to fit. His pants.
It's okay.
Why you always want to be patient when you?
Why you never want to be patient?
Because I want to learn.
What the hell just
Okay,
happened?
now you wipe. Quadruped rocking. So we're aiming to get this angle of the hip, the lumbar spine a little bit neutral. I talk with my hands more so than I talk with my mouth. So I'll tell the person move up, move down. So they're going into good amount of stretch in the knee. And then eventually I'll say keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Feel stretch in the hip and come back up from it. That is quadruped rocking. So eventually you promote them to sit into the hip and stretching into the knee.
My first homework from Marcus.
Yeah, that's really his first homework from me. Okay. Subsequently, we'll go into standing up.
8 years ago.
Step internal rotate, and then step through. Now, what does this train? Internal rotate that way. Why am I training this in our gait cycle? When does the hip goes into internal rotation? In any stance phase. Alright? So it starts back. Back here. We start at loading response. Hip is internal rotated all the way with stepping through. Step through? Why you circumvent through? You step through. Okay? And this is where I'll also, okay, you have to give her some space so that, you know, I don't think it's fair when she's inter-rotated, you stop too much lateral shifting lah, huh? So long as she's leaning into it, you know, she steps through, then she starts getting that what we are training for, right? Stance face, hip internal rotation. Then we go into bird dog. So back on here again.
But for the interaction, do we have to maintain the foot in on any?
It says in pronation time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that's the focus of that part. Then we start to go into bird dog. So I'll say lift one hand, touch the opposite shoulder.
What's the opposite shoulder?
Yep, that's it, good. And lower down. Then lift the other hand, touch the opposite shoulder, and you feel a lot more drop when she does that. Kick this leg back. Good. Lift up,
Jialat.
and then lower down. Very good. A bit shaky, the other side.
That shouldn't be a problem.
And then lift up. Pretty okay. Good. So we know roughly here on here is a little bit weaker. So we'll say, okay, touch this shoulder, and this hand touch the opposite shoulder. Very good. Then you slide, no, just touch. Yep, good. Slide this leg back. Don't need to lift up. Okay, very good. Now I move you here. Maintain that here. Very good. Okay. Now your rep count starts. For 15, lift up your right leg. 1. Good. 2. You don't freaking waste time on bilateral bird dog. You don't freaking waste time on one hand up, one hand down. This is more than enough at 8 reps at a rest. And then we say put the hand down, rest your wrist, stretch your wrist a bit. 3 sets of that. Okay? So
It's not touchscreen.
it's not touch screen. Oh.
I tell you, he's going to ask for it soon.
Kneel. Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, kneeling. So this kneeling step through. What do you think I am doing with this?
Like hip to go over the toe.
Yeah. So you bring the bed down. Usually it's on the bench that you see me do it. Come off one leg only.
On the bench.
Too high, ma. Right? Give me the yoga block. The core block.
Brown.
Yeah. Two. She's not going to be able to do that. Yeah. Because here, that's it there. Good. You start behind. Start from behind. Yep. Okay. Now, her pelvis is now where? Slightly in behind. Yeah. Okay. So you have then in this position, I will then train the person to go down and up, down and up. What is it training? Where do you feel?
Pelvis to go into other hip.
It's training this stability, hip adduction stability on that side. Can you see that hip adduction stability? Alright, okay. So now I will ask her to lift up. Okay, step through. Yep, good. Then back. Drop. Lift up. Step through. Can you feel this leg here working? Yeah. That's a warm up.
If patient cannot achieve this, do you consider releasing the QL?
No. I use movement to mobilize. In this particular scenario, when you're in here, you don't do any passive therapy anymore.
Yeah.
Right? You are trying to go straight into how to get the movement right. Okay?
How about pain on this knee?
Don't care.
No, I can. Cushion. Cushion. Right? But
That one
most of the time, pain on the left knee, right? It's just because they are not able to control and stabilize their hip properly. So I'll go sideways, shifting sideways, shift, and then stretch it, and then come out from it.
It's not comfortable.
Yeah. So what then this, if I were to let her put too much weight on the right side, then she's not going to train the adduction profile of that particular. And most of the time, if someone's with patellofemoral, maybe there is some problem. But if tibiofemoral, this is quite an offloaded position. Why I choose this one is because imagine you got meniscus, right? Imagine you got meniscus, right? You do it in standing, and you're trying to do a side step down, standing. You're putting proprioception in challenge of the meniscus. But in a knee bending position, your meniscus is not challenged. Faham? Psycho apparently thinks that it gets challenged. So he was be having one meniscus problem in this position. I'm like, oh my god. But no, it does not. Okay? So yes, this is purely targeted towards more producing the side step down, right?
That's why he needs to study master.
Oh no, this is the cable. So we still have the cable. And then the single leg bridging. Now you already know which part of the hamstrings you need to work. So lie down, face up. Right? So would you bring the knee 90
Nope.
to do the bridging?
You don't need that much flexion.
Right? You want this. Okay? So in this particular position, I would argue that sometimes I will put it over a gym ball.
Yep.
Okay? Right? Because what happens is the gym ball rolling out is gonna get the eccentric lengthening component. The only reason I agreed it to be a single leg bridge is because just in case elderly they go on the gym ball, they just get scared already. even before they start. But guys, put Jimbo inside here because I don't think I'll give my patient any singlet bridge. Yeah, I'll
Then
definitely be pushing them towards. I'll stabilizing and give them the Jimbo the support, but I need them to build up the strength of eccentric on the hamstrings.
Hey, would the Jimbo make the movement easier?
Yeah, wouldn't this? No.
No, because you see, if they're on the Jimbo, stability, okay, I can hold their pelvis, but I'm able to train the eccentric lengthening of it. Oh, you really bring it in for her. Okay, come. Alright, so let's say good luck. Okay,
I always
yeah.
thought this would be tougher.
No,
This is
so
tougher.
no, it's not.
That's why you say it's not.
No, it's not.
It's
Okay,
not.
90 degrees here. Hook down, calf, not heel. Okay, lift bum up, lengthen out. Okay, bum down, bend it in.
This is so much easier, no?
Correct. What am I doing?
No?
You're holding the ball then.
No.
You're
This is
guiding.
called eccentric hamstrings.
Okay.
There's minimal concentric component.
Yeah.
So push down, bring up. I am concentric which part? Buttock part.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Buttock part.
Oh.
Eccentric hamstring. Lengthen out this part.
Yeah.
Bum down.
Kosong already.
Kosong. Why? Because I don't want too strong a concentric tendon because your best end tendons falls off.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I built eccentric. Now I'm going to see Jimbo missing.
Yes.
Right?
Reformer also the feasibility.
I tried reformer,
So much.
but the issue with reformer is you're resting on your heel or your foot. The recruitment of the calf, this part here is harder, and it's even harder when I lengthen up. I tried. One,
Cannot
five,
on the
one.
bar, man.
That's what I did on the bar.
Here.
Slide.
You try not comfortable because you
Yeah, the
you
bar is-
cannot lengthen and all that, so it's not that. Yes, I also tried leg press. That's why I found out our leg press not working very well. So I was trying to internalize the cueing, and I find that you're trying to teach a motor neuron patient to lengthen out through the hamstrings as they're doing leg press. A bit hard.
Vomit blood.
Yeah. So this is called a standardized program so that minimize error, right? And it will be something that tried and tested, easy to work on patient, so that when you do it on the patient, you get a wow effect. Nobody will miss out. Okay. So that's bridging. So add on the Jimbo.
That one's for which? What impairment or what function?
Step up. Or for gait function, eventually I need the hamstring to bear through.
Cool.
Okay, let me ask you, in sagittal plan for the knee, what is the thing that we look out for? For the knee, checklist in the knee one, the two checklists. There's one part.
You load inflection and you're not hyperextending the knee.
So you load in flexion, you walk now, you load in slight flexion, you stay flexed to go across, reaching into terminal but slightly bending. So what are you doing in this position?
Curling up.
Pulling through
Hemis.
hemis. There was a knee bend into slight knee extension but not extended as you're stepping through to sticky heel.
Just now that in the ground.
Yeah, the 2 points. I already explained it. You've got to remember, if you see on a cheat sheet, on somewhere here, that will write sagittal plan, knee, and then you have to rehab that part. Or a sticky heel or whatever that we decided to call it. Okay? Where are we? Cast of the knee. Lisa, do you want to just go online, Google? Sit to stand. How do you teach sit to stand?
How do you teach?
Come sit to stand.
Take a seat. Please stand up.
Yeah. So yeah, stand up. So this is a quad dominant standing up.
What are you?
Of course she is doing that. Okay, so sit down again.
What is your
Again, it's loading into the extensor mechanism that this squat is working hard. Why do I comment so?
Because you don't want to see that.
No, why do I comment? What makes me know that she's doing that?
Because you know her, that's why.
No, it's this movement. Does her shin stays in 90 degrees the whole time? Stand up. She stays 90 degrees the whole time. Yeah, and she go down.
So
Yeah.
stay there.
Still 90 degrees. So the extensor mechanism, which involves your quad tendon, patellar joint, they are all going through excessive stress. No matter how much you do wall squat, it is not going to change anything, right? So how do you need to teach a sit to stand?
Put belakang a bit. No?
Okay, you can put belakang a bit. What is needed in the belakang a bit? Ankle range.
Yeah.
Right? What else is needed in this particular thing?
The bed height.
Huh?
Bed height.
No, I don't care about the bed height. What is the hip hinge? Is it a hip hinge?
No.
Pelvic and
Anterior
tube.
Yeah.
Okay, pelvic tubes. So you need to go into sit bone and sit on the front of the sit bone.
But that
Okay.
should be already achieved and learned through the
So
quadruped.
this is still warm up.
Oh.
Quadruped only get you the range, right? Okay, it's not a touch screen.
No, no request, no.
Where's my logo? Give me some quotations I need to
That's
find.
this one.
So then from there, the official way to teach sit to stand is 3 point. So the hands on the knee. Yep. They will tilt the pelvis forward, press down, move the center of gravity over the ankle joint. Then from there it's come up. Yep. Okay. So to do that same thing, her hand slides down to her knee. Her knee has to go forward, forward more. Slides down, the knee goes forward. Keep going forward as you are going down and load through there. There's a lot more muscular effort, right? And that's what you have to train there.
I know anterior table.
This is legit like teaching
Because-
someone how to do a squat, like a back squat.
This is what I do in Madam
Wait, because you guys are trying to say that's what you teach for back squat and all those things. Guess what? Squat is sitting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So to elderly, they need to sit. They don't need to squat. Okay? So I plan it that way in the sense that if you sit to stand, and then eventually we tell them this is box squat. Huh? What is box squat? You just did a lot of sit to stand already. So now load it. Macam tu saja. Okay? But hands on knee, on the way up and on the way down. So two components, knee behind, or foot behind, slide forward so that your body weight goes forward, and then it's an up, not forward. And it's an up. Okay, same thing, slide the hand down as you go down into it. So as we go into progressive by week 3 or week 4, we will start to load with weights. But if the person can perform this very well, then we start to put vests on them.
Wow.
With the rest.
Weighted vests.
Yeah.
After, the weighted vest is still in my car, so I'll take it out.
Why do you have it in your car? You training for a
I do
run?
rocking.
Trying to train for the 10K.
No, that was pre. So,
Is
yeah,
it too low?
Rocking.
this is a bit high for her already. It's
Yeah,
not a
quite
low
high,
seat.
right? Yeah,
My
so-
ankle feels
There, those soldiers they carry the
Yeah,
big
no,
bag.
the ankle component of the rehab.
Nicholas
They
Lee
will address
always
stronger
good.
ankles. Okay, so she said my ankle feels weak or weird.
Yeah,
There is ankle component we will train. And also with the gait, you'll be starting to rehab your foot also, because the way you're using will be changing there as well. So now you start going to box squat, so it's an easy translation, alright? No more excuses, go box squat, go heavy, heavy, heavy. And the rep range is, here mark.
6 to
12.
So it's 8,
That's not
12,
heavy.
12, 10, but the weights goes up at the end. Let's say all calculated in the module already. You have it on your cheat sheet and all that, so they're modifying it. Then the hinges. The hinges just means that we have to teach them. So we have this RDL, so basically you just get them horizontal hinging, get into that hip, even just tilting the pelvis out, just getting that component. So how do we do it? Stand up. Okay. This one she should be quite good at it. So this is the hip, this is the pelvis. Okay? Now the pelvis, the hips can stay here, and then you touch the floor. Right? Then she feels restricted and couldn't. Right? And come back. Now, in a normal touching the floor, picking things up, there has to be a translation backwards.
Back here.
So we'll ask the person to shift the weight back and then now touch the floor. So she can then reach even further. Okay? But that itself is not enough to teach the person RDLs. So then what we get them to do is we'll get them to hold
Flex the knee.
the no flex the knee. Just shift, but then it's the spine that we needed here. And that's it. Stay here and then come up. Okay, so you notice she uses her back to come up, then that defeats the purpose of where our RDL is. The main component of the RDL is this component here. So hinge, okay, enough, stay there, feel the tension in the posterior hamstrings.
Use the tension.
This one don't come out from the hamstrings. Yeah, there, that's it, that's all she does. So I don't feel any push from here, I feel all the push from here. Alright, so posterior tensioning is what I need from your RDLs. Because eventually it will travel into staggered RDLs, meaning we will rehab into the ankle. So is this the staggered? Then I want the terminal stance one. Go forward. No. You go on center of gravity on the left foot.
Center of gravity.
On the left foot. Yep, that's it there. Good. Okay. So now she's gonna bend forward and pick things up. Okay. Now she's using a lot of her back. Come back first. We hinges back. Okay, and then now go. Good. Stay there. You feel a lot of tension there.
We cannot
Yeah. Good.
Like this, right?
She can, but she just had to come up on tippy toe. No, not back. Tippy toe. Her ankle is weak. Okay, and then come up. Come up from here. Yep, that's it there. Yeah, because these are the people with
Crab.
poor. It will.
Crab.
And that's the whole point of this
You
exercise.
try first.
I was trying while you were doing.
Right? So
You
this is
stop whether you do.
single leg RDL. When do we need this one? Okay. So we repeat one more just to cramp it up. Tippy toe. Yep, shift back. Load it. Feel the tension. Don't come up from here. Come up from here. Up. Very nice. Now step through. That's the area you use this.
Very good lah.
Yeah. So then she'll end up with propelling function from posterior chain. We have just talked about when we start mid stance. Starting mid stance from loading response, the knee starts flex, we're loading distal hamstrings. It starts to go into distal hamstrings, terminal extension, and then from there the posterior part coming into terminal stance all comes from here to step through. That is the propelling action. If you don't have that, when Shen Yi there teaches you running, you will not achieve this action here to come through. Okay, you will be stuck by right fam starts to kick in, there will be early knee flexion, too early, and then you end up cannot pull through. Alright, that's the RDL, and then if we can go into, so that's already offset RDL already lor. Offset RDL, it's not, these are offset means I'm offsetted to this side, but we put the foot down for balance. Very good. There's ankle component, banded peroneal. So peroneal is very easy. You go into eversion, dorsiflexion eversion to create that stability. Wobble board motion control, depending on which diagonal you want it to control. You then have to start thinking about whether you want to put it for subtalar axis to control pronation or supination. Okay? Or you want to control the windlass mechanism, so you rock on the ankle wobble board. I realize that might be something that you guys don't know.
No, they don't.
No. I think you're wrong.
What do you mean?
The other side.
Thigh side.
And yes. If you're going to step on the right ankle. Yeah. So this, yeah, this axis, heel to be toe, to the screw, heel be toe to the screw. Okay, pull. Okay, good. Tippy toe offset here at the back here, at the back, at the back, at the back.
You know, your left leg put
Your
behind.
left leg put behind on the
On the
wobble
edge,
ball.
on the edge of the
On the
wobble
edge, yeah, that's it there. Very nice. Okay, your weight is on the down, weight down, heel down. That's it, heel down, left, right one, only the right. Okay, now we're rehabbing the subtalar joint of the right. Okay, so they're asking her to have mid-foot control to go into eversion. Come, roll it down. You can use your left foot to help a tiny bit, but you are supposed to roll it down herself. So she's getting eccentric tendon loading right underneath the foot here. This mechanism. Go this way, yeah, that's it. But she will want to shift, so she has to use an ankle for control, and then that's where she is. Yeah, can you feel it? And then come back. Alright, now and June. So this is mid-foot control. I don't want anything except for this. Boleh? Okay, now next one. A lot of technique sharing. Happy you guys? This program doesn't work after all that thinking. I'm gonna tell you all. Okay, no, we're gonna review or reflect on this program at 3 months or 6 months mark, and I'll think of it to see which part of the program is failing or not working to the person to get the results. Yeah, okay. So now the last part of the windlass on the wobble board control on this particular second part. So this one you need to add on. What with me? Okay. Heel here, big toe here. Come, both legs. Okay. What am I doing now? Hey, where's the balance? Okay. Now, what happens in this one is now we are working on talocrural joint as a primary rocker, not your hip, not your knee. Now you're gonna go forward and you're gonna go backwards. No, I don't want her to lock the knee. I think she's locking the knee. She is. Heel down. She cannot. She wants to push.
Yeah, I don't know what is heel down here.
Yeah, so she cannot. So okay, good.
Is she
Step
good
off.
forward?
No, this is the range that can.
Can I try?
But she can't. Never mind. Go back first, step back. Okay, good. Up. Okay, heel here. 1 centimeter behind. That's it there. Heel here. Yep, I'm fussy.
I'm trying not to stop with the fingers.
It's okay, it's very expensive.
Exactly.
Go forward.
It's very what?
Expensive.
Okay. Put you in the middle. That's your knee. That's your heel. Now, rock down through the heel.
That should be
Yeah,
easier.
there you go. She's
Yeah.
working hard now. Can you feel it? Not quite. Okay. What I'm gonna do, don't forward, is this action here.
I don't feel anything. I
Okay.
just don't know why I can't get that.
Because your knee joint is not extending. So lean back here, stay in this area. Now rock the heel back.
Macam is
Yes,
solid.
there.
It's easier though.
Yeah, that's okay. It's meant to. Okay, go forward. Yes.
The forward is harder.
Now you're using your soleus. Okay, so what that tells me then is I thought your hip is already in neutral, but what I had to do to give you this stimulus is move your hip posteriorly, so you're stacking hip over knee over heel. So now from here, she can only use the soleus to go into plantar flexion. Can you feel it? Go here. And she damn weak because she really want to push her knee into
I'm
extension.
also pulling Rebecca to balance.
Yeah, and it's okay, yeah. So now she's working on posterior calcaneal control. What am I needing posterior calcaneal control for? No. Windlass mechanism.
We established that
To
we have that.
yeah. So you just build up the tip post and the soleus component to accomplish the final position of your windlass mechanism. And that's only the wobble board part.
Oh, Annie's gonna hit me too.
Oh, sure. And I'll see a lot of cells in wobble board.
Yeah, she wants to buy us.
With the towel support underneath the thigh, and then they do the knee extension, and then the knee curling. Okay, this is just pure volume building. It's just muscles. Okay.
PR,
Ah.
leg extension, leg curl machine.
Much
nicer, right?
Calf raises on the leg press is done, but the calf raises you can do knee flex or knee extended because the studies don't quite give me which one is more superior over the other. But I feel that if you're already in wobble board, get that fired up already. When you do your leg press calf raises, it will get the whole thing working together.
So you're working very hard right now.
It's good because then your center of gravity has to be high and your knee has to go forward a tiny bit. Then you start using your ankle joint. Otherwise, you end up being Bafani again, right? So,
Can we
Yeah.
do normal calf raises? Must it be on the leg press?
how do you know load?
Like seated and then weights.
How do you know load? Because at this point, these are the muscle endurance.
Okay.
I need the weights to go up and the reps can go up.
But then like currently we cannot use stand on.
Just
Huh?
Currently we cannot use the leg press stand on.
Cannot.
Can.
Can.
No, but you still don't know the load.
You can just use the load until we fix it, then we'll change the load lah.
Can we do a seated one with weight plate on the side?
Seated one with weight plates on the thigh. We used to do it, but we cannot stack heavy enough for what they do in research.
Okay.
So the seated calf raises was meant to carry your body weight to like more. So
1.5.
by the time you put the body weight pop on here, you really feel very uncomfortable. Like the pressure on the knee and all that. That's why they use the study on the knee pad here, the plates put on the side, and they can do that. That one different story lah. I mean, what we have is what we have. Admittedly, if you were to do calf raises with knee bend on the leg press machine, it goes through your knee. If you've got proprioceptive problem, you might not have enough power output from that. I agree. So that's why I said you stand all the way up and you do points at the top. So then you can load, and you can control how much you load. That's the whole point with designing. It's because this part here, you will see at the end, it's got total volume here also. The volume is going to increase high. It's very high repetition, you know. It's like 15, 15, and then time under tension 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1? Yeah, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and it's 3 seconds out, 1 and 3. So it's actually quite tough already. Alright? And why we do time under tension? Time under tension as compared to 1, 1, 1 is to cover some of our bases on the tendon end. Right? So our tendon, more and more research to show that the donut principle of what we used to think of tendon may actually have a way to work. So the donut, the degenerative tendon here, if we apply isometric tendon strength through it, after a while of holding the tension, you will actually have a formation like that, pressure, rather than they bypass it. Previously, we thought that there's a degenerative tendon in the middle, the pressure goes through, and then it will split and bypass. Now, if you do it at rep 1 second, like up, down, you're only just going to irritate it. But if you are doing it with time under tension, you are actually going to go and put the tension with this type of pressure rather than just up and down pressure. And this type of pressure apparently is healthy for the tendon. Alright? But that program is, I think it's about 6 to 8 months type of tendon. So they are showing on patellar tendon, they did this loading, and then 6 to 8 months later, it does change. So where are we at? So calf raises can, cable hip reduction, so same thing, fix the person, hook the cable, and you go into extension abduction. Try to make sure the hip is in external rotation because you want the strength of the person to be out here to start the initial swing. Okay, now you know, so then when you do cable hip flexion, your hip is in what range? External rotation or internal rotation?
We do cable.
Hip flexion. It will be in Do you want to do this and kick like that?
No.
You want to external and kick like that. It's open. Okay, we are training these particular. So the finesse of it, you have to remember. I don't want to see that sort of right frame kicking as a hip flexor when we say cable loading. Okay, neither I want to see abduction with the foot like this. Alright, I want to see turn and one. Sometimes the foot is like that, but the knee is still pointing like that. So you need to make sure turn and go. Go. Ranges in extension even better, not just abduction, because that is the terminal range of the hip. Here it starts external rotating, swing the leg through. If not, when we start doing gait retraining, you gonna, not me.
Of course not you.
The conditioning and the stepper is where the conditioning and the stepper is either or no.
No, it's a progression.
A progression you turn into stepper. So you start with cycling and it's a HIIT, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Okay? Because we are trying to cover some metabolic syndromes. Right? So if they get too tired and all that, then Oju can be described to them and say this is what it does. Okay? It is as well thought out as we can try to get it ready, alright? Then we finally, they're like, oh, I'm ready to cool down. Yeah, this is where I start to teach you how to walk. Gait retraining starts. And also one last loading, which is step downs, lateral step downs, right?
This one really
Incline stepper.
There is a
half an hour.
lateral step downs,
We've done this most.
and then reverse step down, reverse step down, so loading into the same hamstrings to step up, okay? Then Patterson step down, okay? And then step up Patterson, you go up and then go back down. Because her ankle very weak. So Patterson, she go up, she already using quads.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then her quads will be like working hard and then she locked down and then her kneecap will get a lot of stress. So if she has already built up from what we had here, it will be a start.
You should try. You'll be able to test something.
Yeah, I should be.
I think she's a fantastic test subject. Actually, Iman also.
That one
From
also.
this morning. But I'm just saying, please work to make this work. Lots of effort has been put inside the thinking process from all this, alright? And I think it has a very high clinical value if we were to able to produce that. And so, because Rebecca says, why not run a group exercise classes and all those things? But I always cannot get over the clinical outcome. How can we predict this? So now this is as extensive and as simplified as we can in my world.
We are not
Alright.
giving it out for free.
Huh?
We are not giving this out for free.
Yes. You gotta remember that this is
Nobody sees the full
intellectual property.
Yeah.
You follow this
Alright.
line.
Nobody can see the full
Now you
program.
follow this line.
No, they will get only what they need to do, week 1,
Yeah,
the weights, and then that's all,
nothing else.
right?
If they're interested in the program, we only start with week 1 here. We don't give them the full set because they don't want to skip it.
They will never see this.
They will never
They will-
see start to finish, and they'll only see week 1, and then they'll do week 2, and they'll do week 3. Then when they start week 1, we might give them week 1 and 2. Then they come week 2, they'll give them week 3. Next week you have to do this. Week 4, all that stuff. Okay? And I have, so this program, most likely finishing this alone, maybe 1 hour and a half.
Let's try.
Alright? Maybe 1 hour and a half because some elderly may not walk.
Quite time consuming.